The tall erect figure stood before the ranks of his men, and by his very bearing it was clear that momentous events were afoot. He began speaking, his quiet, somewhat shy-seeming voice appearing sombre and half-choked with emotion. So it was that Lieutenant Colonel Blair Paddy Mayne delivered the news to the men of the SAS that all had been expecting and dreading, that they were being summarily disbanded. It was October 1945, and many of those who stood before their revered leader had waged war together for 5 brutal and bloody years. Together, they had braved repeated back-to-back operations behind enemy lines, seeing their closest comrades wounded, captured, maimed, and killed, and losing so many dear friends in the process. Towards the war's end, they had witnessed unimaginable horrors, being the first troops to enter the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp, at a time when few in Allied forces had the barest clue what a concentration camp might be, let alone of the unspeakable nightmares they harboured. Despite all of that, as Mayne was now informing his troops, the fellowship was about to be broken. Their proud regiment, one that had pioneered special forces soldiering, being consigned to the dustbin of history. In short, those who stood before him, including his closest and dearest friends, faced 2 stark options. They were either to be sent back to their parent unit, whatever that might be, or to be returned to Civvy Street. For most of the war, Mayne had been forced to fight a battle on 2 fronts, one against the Nazi enemy, but another against those who had sought to do away with the maverick, free-spirited Special Air Service and its rank of warriors. He had triumphed in the former fight, but today he was forced to accept that the latter had been lost. Typically Mayne, the most highly decorated British soldier serving in the army in the Second World War, with 4 distinguished service orders to his name, rounded off his speech by quoting some lines from The Boys of Killyran, an Irish folk song. Some they went for glory, some they went for pillage. Pillage was the motto of the Boys of Killyran. He followed that as if in afterthought, with a few final self-deprecating words replete with a wry and bittersweet humour, which embodied what would then have seemed to be the epitaph of the SAS. We came for the pillage, but maybe we got a wee bit of the glory as well.